Hey, welcome to my channel, NBA fans! Alright, I know the NBA season already started a few weeks ago, but following my Eastern Conference preview, I still decided to share my predictions for the 2022 Western Conference standings, sticking with my original power rankings from before the season started, which is why some choice might seem a bit controversial now. Okay, y'all ready? Let's go! We're starting the list with the San Antonio Spurs, who I see having an awful 16-66 record. Yes, San Antonio still has one of the greatest coaches of all time, but for me, the Spurs clearly lack the star power and big names to actually win games.
Okay.
Continuing the list, I got the Houston Rockets with just 21 wins. The Rockets actually have a very nice young core, but their season really depends on the potential of second overall pick Jalen Green. Next up, we have the Oklahoma City Thunder, who I got winning 23 games. The main reason for their potential success is the underrated Shai Alexander, who managed to contribute to winning when healthy last season, but only ended up playing a total of 35 games. At number 12, I got the Sacramento Kings with 33 wins. Yes, they got great young talents in De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton, but let's not forget the Kings had the worst defense in the league last season. Sacktown hasn't made the playoffs since 2006, and there's no major reason for that to change, although it's worth noting Tristan Thompson and David Mitchell are arriving to bring seriousness and hustle. Following the Kings, we have the New Orleans Pelicans getting 34 wins, good for just the 11th seed in the West. It hasn't looked good so far, but the reason for their potential success is Zion,
Zion on the hammer!
who kind of got thick and is currently injured.
Get some help.
It also looks like Williamson is not happy with the Pelicans organization, and the roster surrounding their young talent is somewhat decent but not great. Now entering the part to the teams making the play-in tournament, we find the Minnesota Timberwolves, who I predict will end up with a 35-47 record. The Wolves have a good offense with the combination of Cat, D'Lo, and Ant-Man on the floor. However, we have to take into account two of their star players missed a significant amount of games in the last 2 years. At number 9, I'm seeing the Memphis Grizzlies getting 43 wins. The Grizzlies have a talented young team with depth, so the only things Memphis might suffer from are the competition and the possible slight regression due to Jonas Valanciunas not being part of the roster anymore. Next up, the 8th seed goes to the LA Clippers with a solid 46-36 record. I honestly believe the Clippers could have won the championship last season if they had stayed healthy, but Kawhi probably missing a major portion of the 2022 season due to an ACL injury definitely dropped the Clips in my power rankings. Now with that being said, they showed in this past postseason they were still a legit team without Leonard, which is why I'm still seeing the Clippers being a winning team making the playoffs, especially if Paul George has a near MVP type year. The 7th seed goes to the Dallas Mavericks with 48 wins. The Mavs hired Jason Kidd as their head coach, who's got championship experience. Luka might take even another leap, and Kristaps Porzingis should be motivated to bounce back. However, there is just too much competition in this loaded Western Conference for me to really rank them much higher. Now arriving among teams that won't have to pass by the play-in tournament, we find the Portland Trail Blazers grabbing that 6th seed with a 49-33 record. The franchise player Damian Lillard has been struggling so far, but I expect him to get right back on track, as he notably seemed motivated to have the best season of his career this year after being bounced out of the first round in the last 2 playoffs, which is why we can possibly expect some strong results from Portland. Outside of that, the Blazers made some nice but however minor moves this offseason, which are probably gonna have a minor impact. For my part, I'm curious to see how the hiring of Chauncey Billups will affect the team. Entering the top 5, we find the Golden State Warriors with a strong 52-30 record. They've obviously been looking great so far, but there were originally uncertainties heading into this 2022 season in the Bay Area, in major part concerning the return of the Splash Bro Klay Thompson after 2 major injuries, as well as the development of their young rookies and 2020 second overall pick James Wiseman. It's now clear the Warriors have the talent, depth, and chemistry to be once again a team that nobody will want to face in the playoffs. Following Golden State, we have the Denver Nuggets with 53 wins. The Nuggets have been a top tier team in the Western Conference for 3 years now, so I wouldn't sleep on them, even with Jamal Murray missing a part of the season due to his torn ACL. Still moving up the standings, I got the Utah Jazz with 54 wins. The Jazz have been a dangerous regular season team for a while now, so the question is, can they actually earn more respect in the playoffs? All that aside, it's worth saying Utah made some small but good additions this summer, so the only thing that could hurt the Jazz regular season results would be last year's amazing 3-point shooting from them coming out as a fluke. Next up, I got the Los Angeles Lakers. I know they've been extremely disappointing so far, but I decided to stick with my original predictions of them finishing with a 55-27 record. The franchise from the City of Angels is obviously stacked, and the Lakers are looking like a flat-out super team. Now, injuries could ruin their season, as LeBron had 2 of the least healthiest seasons of his career in the last 3 years, and people don't say AD is made out of glass for no reason either. And since the overall roster is quite old, the Lakers will need their 2 superstars to be consistent to compensate the potential lack of energy from their supporting cast. But the Lakers' goal obviously goes further than just the regular season, as they of course want to win the whole thing. And finally, taking the first seed are the Phoenix Suns with 56 wins. The reason for this? Continuity. The Suns made it all the way to the finals last season, and they should keep their winning full pace in the regular season at least, as they have the talent and depth to compete with pretty much all the other teams in the league. Well, that is going to be it for today. Feel free to give your own predictions in the comment section, and make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and activate the notification bell.